welcome to another episode of On the Couch. It's been a while, but we've saved it for a good episode. I've got my very good friend and soccer coach, Joe Montemurro, who's currently working head coach of Arsenal Women. So, welcome back home.
Nice to be back.
Going back soon?
Monday.
So
it's been a nice little journey back.
So we've snuck this interview in quickly.
Absolutely. You owe me a coffee after this.
No doubt.
Okay.
Be a good one. Now, don't want to ask about Arsenal. I'm sure you've been asked by plenty of people in your short stay here. But what I'm more interested in is your journey to get there. Because we started together 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At George Cross in Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a great journey. So hear more about that.
Yeah, I think all those, if you want to put it in inverted commas, all those difficult assignments on your journey, on your way, are probably the most rewarding, because you look back at training under substandard conditions and obviously under-resourced and poor facilities and so on. I'm not saying that George Cross was like that. They're all those things that you learn along the way. You learn to not talk about what you don't have. You talk about what you can instill and what you can do within the restrictions you got. But look, the journey isn't that dissimilar to probably many coaches around the world. Lots of sacrifice, lots of learning, and lots of just belief along the way. I think like everyone, you decide. I think probably the catalyst for me was deciding that I couldn't do two jobs, because I was working full time and doing obviously football at night and afternoon, and when I could fit it in. And I think it was around 2000 or 99. I decided that's it. It's going to be football. Probably the best example was I had a couple of school jobs during the day, so I had normal things. I had to pay a mortgage, I had a family, marriage and all that sort of stuff. So I'd be from 7 till 9 at one school, then from 10 till 12 at another school, and then in the afternoon at another school, and then at night coaching a club or coaching. So you'd have 4 or 5 jobs to sort of make ends meet. But again, I wouldn't do it any other way, because I think it's a journey of sacrifice and a journey of hard work that I think is just part of the DNA of becoming a high performance coach.
It's good, because look, I've been with you on that journey for most of it. Was it more than 13 years ago now that you started on that? So it's been, it's never easy. No. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of accepting of the limitations and making the best out of the environment that you're in, and rather than, as you said, complaining about what you don't have. It's about, this is what I've got and this is how I maximise it. And now I guess I'm kind of a little bit jealous, because there's a lot of stuff we spoke about 13 years ago that in that professional environment that you can do, and we tried to implement, or we implemented quite a few of them.
Absolutely.
The different clubs we worked at together.
Yeah.
I suppose, why am I jealous? What are you doing at Arsenal? What's the physio's role at Arsenal? What role do they have in your environment?
I think you're spot on, Sharps. There was a lot of. I think the biggest thing that we did probably 10, 12, 13 years ago was to become more specific to the movements of footballers, and from there you can obviously rehab. From there you can obviously then put in strength and conditioning programs that are football related, are related to the movements, but more important to the specific needs of that player. So if you're asking players to do strength work and they're not strong enough, well then you need to slowly build into that and adhere into that. But more importantly, always relating it back to football, movements. So I think that's probably one of the good things we do at Arsenal, is that my physio is pretty much in charge of human performance. He's in charge of I suppose what the sports scientists are doing, monitoring the sports scientists, monitoring the strength and conditioning guys, and making sure that the work that we're doing is football related, but more important to the movements of that specific position of player and what the player's requirements are. So it's a threefold thing. It doesn't work within our methodology. Are they the movements of what they do on the park? And more importantly, are they the specific needs from a strength and conditioning and rehab perspective that the player needs? So pretty much the same stuff that we're doing, and I suppose we've just got the ability to monitor it on a day-to-day basis and monitor it on a constant basis.
I suppose that's where screening's become very important.
Absolutely.
But then not only just the screening, but it's the conversation between you and your physio about what you're looking for in a coach, and how does the screening marry with what you're looking at on the pitch?
Absolutely, and that's the most important thing. And I think as the head coach, as the manager, you instill your beliefs, you instill your way you want to see your team play. The buy-in from your staff is very, very important, and it's important also to give them the opportunity to bring in their professional know-how. But the most important thing with screening is to make it specific to what we need, and follow it up. It needs to be followed up. I mean, I think a lot of us do a lot of screening, in the first week of pre-season, and then we sort of touch on it 6 weeks in, and then something else gets in the way. But it's important that screening is important for the specific needs of those 3 realms as I just spoke about. But more importantly, that it's followed through, and that we tweak it, and we keep getting better, and we keep making it.
So you're involved in that screening?
Yeah, look,
process,
I have you know me well enough.
Yeah.
I always ask why we're doing this, and how is it related to the way we want to play and the way we want to do. So I'll always ask those questions, to make sure that we're not sort of going off on tangents because there's some data from some paper in somewhere that's telling us we should do this. It has to be specific, and it has to be related to what we're doing.
Beautiful. And finally, injury prevention protocols. What role do they play?
Yeah, look, a lot. We obviously, we do a lot of the preparation, which I think we call pre-activation and so on. So it's a big part of what we do, and as we've always wanted to do. It's very specific. So fullbacks are doing certain movements in their preparation for what we're doing. Centre backs are doing their movements of what they do on a pitch. So again, it's very specific, but we're very big into it. And again, managing loads is huge. If I need to taper things, if I need to take off a little bit, if I need to add a little bit more, I think that's one of the things that we all work together to make sure that we're getting what we need. But more importantly, to make sure that the player's safety and ability to grow is there.
Fantastic. Joe, thanks for your time. Good luck this season at Arsenal.
Pleasure, mate. Enjoyed it.